threaten Zeri. It's definitely a pick that I think is pretty niche, but one he could pull out here. It's going to be Bard for Keria.
Well, what do we have here?
Wow.
Keria pulling out the first Bard of the tournament, and the Sylas going to be taken here as well. Definitely some decent ultimates on the opposite side. We've been seeing Chovy pick this up as well. The Sylas pretty interesting, I'd say.
Honestly, I've definitely seen better Sylas ultimates. Nothing here screams to me great Sylas pick. There's no Maokai or Alistair on the other side that would be super powerful. It's more of that Faker just wants this for the general theme of their team composition. And then the Belveth coming in for Blabber as well. It's actually a departure from what Blabber's played for most of the Summer Split. Summer Split was a lot of Maokai Sejuani duty, so a totally different look here for C9's jungler as far as what he's been playing recently.
There's a lot of pushing power with Jax and the Belveth, of course. If you end up getting a lead or if you drop Rift Herald topside, if you win that early Rift Herald fight, there is so much you can gain from that. Pretty tough to win that fight, of course, against Sylas in that first battle of ultimate. Sylas will be able to match the Orianna ultimate. You have to deal with Equalizer. But I think if C9 can actually win the first Herald, drop it topside, they can get Jax pretty ahead, and then he's going to have an opportunity to be a big side lane threat later on to buy time for Zeri to be that late game carry. The composition here, I feel, for C9 is pretty vanilla, although Zeri's not as common, Belveth a little bit rarer. You know what this comp is set out to do. For T1, I think the execution a lot more complex on how they're going to utilize this Bard pick.
Yeah, so 423 career games of record for Blabber. This is his second Belveth. So not the most common pick for him.
I'd be curious about the Bard numbers as well, because I know that Keria has played it before, and it can work in terms of setting up some of the wombo combo that they do have. But yeah, the Belveth coming in, I think it definitely does have power. It can be a little bit feast or famine, but we have seen it feast a bit here at Worlds when we have seen it. So I think that C9 trying to bring in some pocket picks, trying to bring in some interesting stuff to potentially take down T1.
Got an answer for you on the Bard. 7-1. So that's 7 more wins than Blabber has on Belveth. And it's of almost 550 games for Keria's career.
That's quite a lot of games, and guys are ready to jump into the first game of the day. I think that tells you who the crowd is siding with for this one.
C9 everywhere, knowing Blabber was topside, knowing he was pushed out there, he's forced to flash and fudge. Now level 6 is up.
Oh, he's taken way too much damage from that Equalizer already. He's gonna go straight into the Death Chamber. First blood given over to Oner in the top lane.
I mean, that was just perfectly done. That play was about 45 seconds in the making as well. Jarvan invading Blabber's jungle, pushing him down. Also, Zeus maximizing his experience to hit 6 at the right time. Very, very hard for C9 to counter that. Big play for T1. This is going to be really interesting because Sven left a while ago, leaving Berserker down bot lane for a long time. It's allowed Keria to push the wave, recall, and now be on the way to Rift Herald, which wouldn't give C9 time to kill it.
2v2 at the top side. The Equalizer getting some big value, and now Oner is going to join up with this one as they do want to extend this play, but not sure if they want to overextend as Sven has come on in. The Flag and Drag goes in out to the Rakan as Oner just doesn't give a damn. He has Keria behind him, gets him in the Death Chamber. As the ultimate comes out, and everybody is going down on the side of C9 in the top lane. T1 just burning them to a crisp in the top lane.
Well, that'll be 4 kills for T1 now in this early game, an over 2,500 gold lead.
Wouldn't shock me if they just use this bot pressure, push people back in the river, and look for a fight or drop the Herald mid.
While they're over the wall, they're looking for Sven as he is going to get dunked on, and he's got one hope, his ultimate ability, but that's not going to do enough as he was alone. 1v4 as T1 come over the wall, you know, not playing against a lot of Bards, I would imagine, but that ability to just attack you in your own jungle, very difficult.
There was never like a counterplay that C9 would be able to make.
Fudge in a lot of trouble. He flashes onto the other side of the Equalizer as Zeus just tanking this one up. Fudge is still alive underneath this turret. He's just gonna get flagged from the heavens as Oner gonna pick up his 4th kill in this game.
Things Faker does. 2013, always these amazing mechanical outplays. Things Faker does has changed a lot in the last 11 years. Now the thing Faker does is get a bunch of really mechanically talented players around him, hold his own in mid lane, and press his F keys really good and talk.
He's been pressing his keys pretty well. Oner, once again, maybe it's showboating, I'm not sure. Oner in a little bit of trouble as he does have some help from his squad, but he is going to be able to get away. Blabber gets hooked by the feathers, and now there's a massive Equalizer on the entirety of C1, just trying to, C9 rather, trying to retreat out of this one. That's a huge play, comes out from Keria. 24-minute games as well. And, you know, Wolf was talking about it before. We're on pace for a perfect game. That's just going to be Berserker dead for free. There's just no help onto the turret.
The waves, they're going to put Faker in the bottom lane here, and Blabber,
Hey, he got the blue buff.
yeah.
You know what?
At what cost,
That's
fellas?
pretty good. He got the buff. Oh, no, he's in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he's being chased down here by Owner. I think that carry is just going to let him do the 1v1 thing, and there he goes. Dunks into the ground.
I say this a lot, but it's hard to criticize teams that are in positions like this, 13,000 gold behind. I mean, you could say there's no way he has any right to that blue buff, but if you just sit in your base, what are you doing at this point? I mean, T1 have won this game, and everything that happens from now on, and frankly, everything that happened from 5 minutes ago on, is really hard to criticize for C9. There really is no correct play.
Now Faker is just doing a dance in the enemy base at this point in time, picks up the quickness and just kind of shoves it in their face as T1. You know, they're on pace to try to break one of the fastest games that we have had here in the Swiss stage. The turrets of the Nexus are already going down. C9, they're gonna have to make one last stand, and they get the knock up here on a Zeus who loses a total of 0 health at this point in time as the Bard ultimate comes out as well. The carry is having a lot of fun at this point. Fudge is in that back line, but he's just going to be ripped to shreds by the Feathers once again. As T1 will play with their food, they will get what they deserve after this victory. As down will go the Nexus. T1 will move on to 2-1 in the Swiss stage.